According to NASA, Explorer is the most distant object made by humans inside the universe. It is delivering useful records to Earth once more. Inside the universe, we don't have any concept of what it is, other than the fact that we can measure it. Explorer 1, the infamous space probe sent off by NASA more than 4.5 decades ago, has recently conveyed back a message that has sent shockwaves through the academic network. After traveling almost 14 billion miles from Earth, Explorer 1 has made a discovery so vast that it has changed the course of its mission, reorienting itself to our planet. Be a part of us in this grandiose adventure. 7 minutes ago, Explorer 1 triggered an alarming discovery and turned toward Earth. But what exactly might this revelation be? Could it be evidence of extraterrestrial existence, a great oddity, or something even more unfathomable? In this gripping research, we will explore these thrilling discoveries. Explorer 1 has just made a startling revelation that caused it to suddenly turn toward Earth. Records of the Explorer twin probes indicate that if a particular divine event hadn't harmonized, two of the most remarkable rockets ever sent off might never have left Earth. In this instance, it was the four largest planets aligning in our planetary system around 60 years ago. These planets were slowly aligning in a way that had last occurred during Thomas Jefferson's administration in the early 19th century. This exciting planetary arrangement was largely ignored until Gary Flandreau, pursuing a doctorate in flight at the California Institute of Technology, identified its importance back in 1965, when space exploration was just beginning. Working part-time at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, Flandreau was entrusted with sorting out the most efficient approach for sending a space probe to Jupiter, or even farther, to Saturn, Uranus, or Neptune. Using a simple pencil, he carefully plotted the orbital paths of these large planets and made an exciting discovery. In the late 1970s and mid-1980s, all four planets would align in such a way that they could be visited in a single mission. This alignment meant that a spaceship could make use of the force of gravity exerted by each planet to essentially slingshot itself to the next, reducing travel time. Flandreau discovered that, due to this alignment, the flight time from Earth to Neptune could be cut from 30 years to just 12 years. But there was a catch: this planetary alignment only occurred once every 176 years. To take advantage of this rare opportunity, a spacecraft would need to be launched by the mid-1970s. NASA seized this once-in-a-lifetime chance and built spacecraft to make the journey, Explorer 1 and Explorer 2. These twin spacecraft were sent on an extraordinary mission to explore the outer planets in our solar system. Thanks to the planetary alignment and the visionary calculations of Gary Flandreau, the launch of the Explorer twin probes on September 5, 1977, was truly fantastic. Explorer 1 set sail from Cape Canaveral, Florida on its grand adventure into space, launched by a massive rocket known as Titan II Centaur. Only 15 days later, on August 20, 1977, Explorer 2 was launched. Explorer 1 began its journey into the vast universe, following a shorter course. Their primary mission was to investigate the enormous gas giants in our solar system, Jupiter and Saturn, along with their numerous moons. But these brave space voyagers surpassed all expectations. They ventured far beyond, pushing the limits of exploration, visiting farther and longer than any other spacecraft in history. They broke numerous records on their inspiring odyssey, venturing beyond anything made by humans before, even entering a region known as interstellar space, a completely unknown area within our galaxy. Explorer 1 and Explorer 2 are now more than 12 billion miles from us. Despite their immense distance, they continue to surprise researchers with the groundbreaking discoveries they make. Most recently, they made a discovery so startling that it has taken everyone by surprise. The Explorer twin probes have achieved numerous truly remarkable feats. Years ago, they studied the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, surprising scientists who initially believed them to be dull and pitted like our own moon. These moons turned out to be lively hubs of interest. Explorer 1 made history by becoming the first of the twins to swing by Uranus in 1986, and just 3 years later, it zoomed past Neptune, an accomplishment unequaled by any other spacecraft. As these spacecraft continued their complex journey, NASA employed smart strategies to ensure they remained functional. They deactivated non-essential components, like extra heaters and parts, to conserve power. The goal was to keep the spacecraft operational until at least 2025. For the dedicated scientists and engineers who have been part of this incredible journey from its inception, it is a mix of emotions. Their hard work has paid off, and just when they thought the Explorer missions were nearing their end, a shocking discovery emerged from the depths of space. At the start of their grand journey 40 years ago, the Explorer spacecraft surprised specialists by providing the first close-up views of the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. These moons, which astronomers had believed to be dull and heavily pitted like our own moon, turned out to be dynamic worlds. Explorer 1 reached Jupiter in March 1979, only 546 days after its launch. Explorer 2, following a slightly different trajectory, arrived in July of that same year. Each spacecraft was equipped with special cameras that used filters to capture full-color photographs. These cameras were designed to rotate through space at a rate that exceeded 40 times slower than a clock's hour hand, ensuring that the images they captured were clear and sharp. During their mission, the explorers took more than 33,000 pictures of Jupiter and its moons, each revealing new and fascinating information. For example, Europa, one of Jupiter's 53 named moons, was found to have a cracked icy surface estimated to be more than 60 miles thick. As the spacecraft departed from the Jupiter system, they received a speed boost of 35,700 miles per hour from a gravitational slingshot, a crucial maneuver that propelled them closer to interstellar space. At Saturn, the explorers went their separate ways. Explorer 1 passed through Saturn's marvelous rings, enduring thousands of tiny dust particle impacts before flying past Titan, a moon surrounded by an orange haze, and traveling north out of Saturn's rings. Explorer 2 carried on its mission, reaching Uranus and Neptune in 1986. During its visit to Uranus, Explorer 2 discovered 10 new moons and added the planet to the list of worlds in our ring-filled solar system. But Explorer 2's achievements were overshadowed by tragedy. Only 4 days after its closest approach to Uranus, the Space Shuttle Challenger tragically exploded shortly after liftoff, killing all 7 crew members, including Krista McAuliffe, a high school teacher from New Hampshire who was set to become the first civilian in space. 3 years later, as Explorer 2 flew over Neptune's beautiful sky-blue methane atmosphere, it encountered the fastest winds recorded on any planet in our solar system, reaching speeds of up to 1,000 miles per hour. Neptune's largest moon, Triton, turned out to be one of the coldest regions in our solar neighborhood, with surface temperatures plunging to a frigid -235 degrees Fahrenheit. The spacecraft's plasma wave instrument detected a strong solar flare between April 9 and May 2013. This event caused nearby electrons to vibrate, indicating that Explorer 1 had entered a region of higher particle density than that found within the heliosphere. At first glance, it might seem surprising that the electron density is higher in interstellar space than near the Sun. However, researchers explained that the electron density at the edge of the heliosphere is much lower than on Earth's surface. Through Explorer 1's analysis of the data, scientists pinpointed the spacecraft's specific flight date beyond the heliosphere as August 25, 2012. This determination was based not only on electron movement but also on additional evidence gathered from its instruments. By measuring the surrounding plasma waves, researchers confirmed that Explorer 1 had officially left the Sun's protective bubble and entered true interstellar space. This marked a historic achievement, the first human-made object to venture beyond our solar system's boundary. Meanwhile, Explorer 2 continued its own journey, following a slightly different trajectory but heading toward a similar fate. Scientists eagerly awaited data from both probes, hoping they would provide even deeper insights into the unknown environment beyond our solar system. Despite their great distance from Earth, both spacecraft have continued to function, sending back valuable data. Scientists at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory closely monitor the faint signals they receive, using deep space antennas to capture the messages. The information they provide is helping researchers understand the nature of interstellar space, the influence of cosmic radiation, and the structure of the galaxy beyond our solar system. Then, in a surprising turn of events, Explorer 1 recently transmitted an unexpected signal, one that has left scientists puzzled. The probe, which had been steadily moving away from Earth, suddenly made a slight reorientation toward our planet. What could have triggered this sudden change? Experts speculate that it could be the result of an external force, such as an interaction with an unknown interstellar phenomenon. Some researchers suggest that Explorer 1 may have detected an anomaly, something so significant that it prompted an automatic shift in orientation. The possibility of discovering an entirely new cosmic feature, or even detecting signals of artificial origin, has fueled intense scientific debate. Could it be evidence of an advanced extraterrestrial civilization? A cosmic anomaly previously unknown to science? Or something even more mysterious lurking beyond the edges of our known universe? NASA scientists are now working tirelessly to decode the latest data and determine the cause of Explorer 1's sudden movement. Whatever the answer may be, one thing is certain: the probe's latest discovery has reignited global interest in space exploration and the mysteries that lie beyond our solar system. Also, on measurements of charged solar particles gathered by the spacecraft on that pivotal day for the Explorer team, this announcement was a source of great pride and excitement. Susan Dodd, the mission director, expressed the team's joy, saying, "We are pleased to have been able to keep working with the explorers and to see it achieve the remarkable milestone of entering interstellar space." Ed Stone, a key figure in the Explorer missions from the very beginning, emphasized the importance of this achievement in advancing our understanding of space. He said, "Explorer 1 has led us to new discoveries by giving us the first view of this new region, increasing our scientific knowledge of the nature of energy and radiation in space." Explorer 2 also crossed into interstellar space in November 2018, venturing into an unknown region beyond the Sun's protective bubble, which shields us from cosmic radiation. But the truly astonishing news comes from Explorer 1. After an extraordinary 46 years, NASA's Explorer 1 spacecraft, the most distant human-made object in space, continues to send valuable information back to Earth. Despite its unprecedented distance of over 14.7 billion miles, the spacecraft remains operational, although its primary mission concluded long ago. Here's where things get really interesting. Explorer 1 has recently made an incredible discovery that has left researchers baffled and deeply concerned. As Explorer 1 traveled through space, something rare occurred. It began sending data back to NASA, revealing an anomaly in its trajectory. The data it transmitted indicated signals containing information about an unknown phenomenon that defied explanation. This anomaly appeared to suggest the presence of a huge, previously undetected object exerting a tremendous gravitational pull, distorting the spacecraft's path. This discovery has shaken the scientific community to its core, sparking a whirlwind of speculation. Could it be a black hole? A rogue planet? Or something even more extraordinary? The implications are staggering. If confirmed, this newly detected object could dramatically change our fundamental understanding of the universe. NASA has assembled an emergency team of scientists to investigate further, utilizing all available resources to analyze the data and potentially redirect Explorer 1 to gather more information. This shocking twist in Explorer 1's journey serves as a reminder of the vast mysteries that lie beyond our planet, and the enduring spirit of exploration that drives humanity to seek answers in the far reaches of space. The spacecraft, equipped with 3 radioisotope thermoelectric generators, RTGs, had an estimated operational lifespan of 4 to 12 years. Remarkably, Explorer 1 has far exceeded expectations, maintaining its mission for a remarkable 45 years. In contrast to solar panels, these RTGs produce energy by harnessing the heat generated by the radioactive decay of plutonium-238. Despite this impressive perseverance, NASA estimates that by 2025, the Explorer spacecraft may no longer be able to generate enough power to operate its instruments and transmit data back to Earth. A mysterious signal. During routine communication with Explorer 1 via NASA's Deep Space Network, something extraordinary occurred. After more than 40 years of continuous data transmission, NASA's computer systems on Earth began receiving an unusual signal that left everyone concerned. For the first time in its mission, Explorer 1 suddenly halted its journey and performed a complete 180 degrees turn. As the NASA team watched in astonishment, Explorer 1, which had faithfully traveled in one direction for nearly half a century, executed an inexplicable maneuver. A spacecraft with no propulsion system capable of making course corrections had somehow reversed its trajectory. Engineers and scientists scrambled to make sense of the data. Had the spacecraft encountered an unknown force? Was it responding to an external signal? Or had something, or someone, intentionally redirected it? To rule out a system malfunction, NASA engineers meticulously analyzed Explorer 1's telemetry. The spacecraft's onboard systems appeared to be functioning normally. There was no indication of a mechanical failure, nor had it lost contact with Earth. Yet, the signal it was transmitting carried strange, indecipherable data, unlike anything received prior. A signal from the unknown. As the weeks passed, NASA's Deep Space Network continued to monitor Explorer 1's transmissions. Then, on a quiet morning at Mission Control, something extraordinary happened. A new sequence of signals emerged, structured, rhythmic, and eerily deliberate. At first, the patterns seemed random, but as scientists decoded the data, they discovered something remarkable. The signal contained a repeating sequence of prime numbers, a pattern that does not occur naturally in space. Prime numbers, divisible only by 1 in themselves, are often considered a potential form of extraterrestrial communication. The realization sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Could this be evidence of intelligent life? If so, was Explorer 1 responding to an external signal? Or had it been intercepted by something beyond our understanding? An urgent mission. With the world now watching, NASA assembled a top-secret task force of astrophysicists, cryptographers, and mathematicians to analyze the mysterious transmission. The discovery was too significant to be dismissed as a mere anomaly. Attempts to decipher the signal intensified. Days turned into weeks as supercomputers processed the incoming data. Then, a breakthrough. Scientists uncovered a secondary layer of information embedded within the transmission. The message was more than just numbers. It contained a series of complex waveforms, suggestive of an encoded image. Excitement turned to anxiety as NASA's computer systems reconstructed the image. What they saw defied belief. Projected onto their screens was a pattern resembling a star map, a detailed chart of the heavens, complete with coordinates. But what truly stunned the team was the presence of a distinct symbol at its center, a shape eerily reminiscent of Explorer 1 itself. The implication was staggering. Whoever, or whatever, had sent this signal knew about Explorer 1. More importantly, they had been expecting it. The countdown begins. As speculation mounted, NASA faced an agonizing decision. Should they attempt to send a response? And if so, what should they say? Every possibility had to be considered. Were they about to make first contact? Or had Explorer 1 inadvertently stumbled upon something that humanity was never meant to find? Then came the most chilling discovery yet. Embedded deep within the star chart was a sequence resembling a countdown. But, a countdown to what? With only days remaining before the sequence reached zero, the world braced for what was to come. NASA had no choice. They had to act, before time ran out. The final hours. As the countdown neared its final moments, tension within NASA's mission control reached a fever pitch. The world had turned its eyes to Explorer 1, awaiting an event that no one could predict. Scientists, engineers, and government officials debated what action, if any, should be taken. Should they respond? Should they send a signal back? Or was silence the safest option? The task force worked around the clock, running simulations, analyzing the star map, and searching for any clue hidden within the transmission. Meanwhile, deep space tracking stations across the globe reported something even more alarming. Explorer 1's signal was getting stronger. It was as if something, or someone, was drawing it closer. The signal changes. Then, just 2 hours before the countdown reached zero, something unexpected happened. The structured signal from Explorer 1 shifted. The prime numbers stopped. The rhythmic patterns ceased. And then, a new message began. The signal, once mathematical and precise, now carried a series of pulse-like bursts, fluctuating in a pattern that resembled a response waiting for acknowledgement. "They are waiting for us," whispered Dr. Helen Graves, a senior astrophysicist on the task force. The realization hit like a shockwave. Whoever, or whatever, had sent the transmission wasn't just broadcasting information. They expected a reply. The decision. A frantic discussion erupted among NASA's top minds. Could responding be dangerous? Could it trigger an event beyond their control? But as the seconds ticked down, they realized they had little choice. With approval from the highest levels of government, NASA prepared to send a simple, universal response, a return transmission containing Earth's own sequence of prime numbers, followed by a universal mathematical constant, pi. The message would confirm one thing: we understand. We hear you. With trembling hands, the lead engineer initiated the transmission. A deep silence filled mission control as the signal pulsed outward, traveling across billions of miles toward Explorer 1 and beyond. 0 hour. Then, the countdown hit zero. For a moment, nothing happened. And then, Explorer 1 vanished. Not exploded. Not malfunctioned. It simply blinked out of existence. 1 second, its signal was there, strong, clear, and unbroken. The next? Gone. A stunned silence fell over the room. Engineers scrambled to re-establish contact, but there was nothing left to reach. Explorer 1, the most distant human-made object in space, was simply no longer there. The aftermath. Panic set in. Had they triggered something catastrophic? Had the spacecraft been taken? Then, just as suddenly as it had disappeared, a new signal emerged. But it wasn't coming from Explorer 1's last known position. It was coming from somewhere else entirely. Somewhere far beyond the edges of the known universe. And this time, the message wasn't just numbers. It was a voice. A voice speaking in a language that no human had ever heard, yet somehow, deep in their bones, they understood every word. The voice spoke only one sentence before the transmission cut out. A sentence that would haunt humanity forever. You were never alone.